And a couple more things. I can't go to the beach. I can go close to the beach. I can look at it. I cannot venture onto the sand. There's no way. Uh, there's what they call beach wheelchairs. They're these big plastic go kart looking things with very wide plastic tires that won't like sink too far into the sand. But I have no way to propel it myself, so I used it once. Basically, I get into it and then someone else, or it usually takes two people because these things still sink a little bit in the sand and it's tough. They push me down and along the sand and I can sit in it. I can't get out of it. There's nowhere else for me to sit on the sand. I can make it to the water, and like I said, I'm a swimmer. So if they get me in the water, I can kind of roll off of it and float around, and I got to work my way back into it. So the beach is almost off limits, and snow. There's no. I should look for some videos. I bet there's some adventurous disabled people who have conquered the snow. I haven't set out to that challenge myself. I'm living in California, so we don't have the winters everybody else has. I can go out in January and rest assured have nice uniced level ground to trek my wheelchair on. So, but I can't go to the mountains and enjoy snow play with my family or skiing. Never, not that I was a skier, but it would be fun, I guess. um, what do I still have going on? I'm reading my list. I gotta keep glancing over there. Like I said, I got my upper body strength. As far as I know, ALS hasn't intruded there. It's kind of hard to distinguish, though, some what I call the collateral injuries from true ALS progression. I've got a lot more pain in my hands. Um, it's a carpal tunnel pain, and that's from a couple of things. I'm doing a lot of using my hands for everything, transitioning, putting a lot of weight on the wrists. And I'm an engineer, and I'm actually work is booming. I'm doing god awful amount of typing, so I've had to like give myself breaks because the pain's got. I wear these braces to help with the carpal tunnel while I'm working and while I'm sleeping, and I got to ice my hands often. So I'm calling that a collateral injury. I don't know if ALS is maybe more susceptible to that. Could be. I'm experiencing some back pain this week. That comes and goes. That could be ALS is starting to weaken my back muscles and they're less able to do the things I'm asking them to do. It could also be I'm just using my back a lot because I don't have my legs. One thing I do a lot is I'm in this chair right now, but when I need to reach for something, I kind of grab on the one end and lean way over. So I'm using my arm and my back a lot to reach things. So that could be a collateral injury. It might be a sign that ALS is starting to go into the upper body. Um, my speech is I never could talk well, but my speech, as far as I can tell, there's no effect on it. My breathing, likewise, I think there's been no effect on it. The last time I had my breathing clinically evaluated was a while ago. It was May of 2019. A couple of reasons for that. One, I don't like going to the clinic. Eats up a whole day, and my needs so far, thank goodness, have been minimal. And two, the pandemic. I don't want to go near a clinic. We've done remote clinic visits since then. You know, they just look at me and say, "Okay, you look like you're doing great." But May 2019 is the last time I was clinically evaluated. They did a breathing test, and I actually scored above average. My lung strength, the ability to inhale and exhale, is actually better than the population mean. And the nurse who tests me she says, singers and swimmers. Apparently, we do a good job exercising our diaphragms and lungs. So, and as far as I know, my breathing, my swim, I don't feel out of breath when I swim. My breathing is normal. So ALS hasn't touched that. Um, Appetite, ALS eventually makes you lose your appetite. I don't know what the reasoning is. You have less it's exhausting to eat, or your body just decides it doesn't need fuel, and you start to lose weight. I don't know, like, and I haven't experienced it, so I can't speak to it, and I don't want to try to speak to it. But my appetite is essentially the same. I'm eating normal meals. When I was first diagnosed, the doctors asked me to put on weight, and I started eating extra food, and I did that for about 3 or 4 months, and I was making myself sick. So I went back to eating normally. Um, I did put on weight, and then it kind of stabilized, and now it's going up again. I think that's because my activity level's been, like I said earlier, activity's going down. My appetite hasn't changed, so unaffected. Um, I can also do all my personal care and take care of my cleanliness needs, and I'm very grateful for that. So I don't need any help going to the bathroom. We have a very disabled friendly. We remodeled our bathroom, so it's very disabled friendly. I have a another wheelchair that goes into the shower, so I hop on that and roll it into the shower. The shower was modified so it can be a roll-in shower, and I just sit there and I lift up a butt cheek and clean the undercarriage, and voila, I can take care of myself. I'm cutting my own hair. I've been doing that for 15 years. The hair I have, and shaving. Like, I don't have any problems with dexterity yet. So thank goodness I can still do that. I can make my own meals. I The chores. Let's get to that. If I can sit somewhere, I'm good to go. Washing dishes, I'm your man. Putting the laundry in the washer, taking it out of the dryer, folding, I'm your man. Um, Anything that requires leg strength, I have to check myself out. I haven't helped with the Christmas decorations for the last several years, which I kind of feel bad about. That used to be a family activity. We'd get a tree, set it up, and I'd be the outside lights guy. My wife would take care of the inside. I would do the outside. She's doing it all now, so can't do that. Cooking, not so much. And maybe I'm just pushing this on my wife because she I think likes to cook. She's very good at it, and I'm not very creative at it. But I'm about this is where the stove is in my perspective. So like lifting a pot off the stove, I got to raise it kind of above my head, and it's all those hot surfaces. I just kind of been staying away from that. And my wife has been great. She's like not complaining about that. So I could cook, but I'm just kind of staying away from that. I feel safer. Um, and I said, I'm an engineer. I can still type. I can still do Zoom meetings, and I have my full command of my speech still. So those things are still going strong. Okay, adaptations we've had to make. I talked about the shower. Um, Going to the bathroom. Okay, so yeah, I gotta sit most of the time. Um, and our bathroom, like I said, we made it nice and easy. I just kind of move my wheelchair or my scooter right next to the toilet, and I can hop onto the toilet and take care of business. But that isn't concern going to other people's houses. Most of my family, their bathrooms, their toilets. This is the common design. Their toilets are in a nook, and there's no way to get a wheelchair next to that guy. So I've had to come up with other means. I don't use catheters. I've heard a lot of talk about catheter use. I haven't had to go that route. I use, you may people may or may not be acquainted with this. I use for when on those occasions I use a handheld urinal. It looks like a little pitcher that you just being a man, it makes it easier. I just fill it up while I'm sitting in the wheelchair, and then I pour its contents into the toilet. So there's some adaptation there, but like I said, it hasn't been a tremendous inconvenience. It's just been a minor inconvenience.